Hello and welcome back to the lesson. We will continue with the subject corporate governance and ethics. Today, our attention is on compliance strategy, and in this lesson, we will define a compliance strategy. We will identify the components of a compliance strategy. Then we will discuss the key areas, key compliance areas, the key compliance areas, three things. So by the end of the lesson, you should be able to define a compliance strategy. You should be able to outline the key components of a compliance strategy. Then you should outline also the key areas of a compliance strategy. But first of all, let us define a compliance strategy. What is a compliance strategy? Now, a compliance strategy in corporate governance and ethics refers to a set of progressive measures and procedures that are implemented by an organization to ensure adherence to all applicable laws, regulations, industry standards, and internal policies. So it refers to a set of proactive measures and procedures it refers to a set of proactive measures and procedures. Now, a strategy is a plan. It is a plan on how the company should comply. So, because it is a plan, that's why we are saying it's a proactive set of measures and procedures. It is a predetermined course of action on areas to do with compliance. So it refers to a set of proactive measures and procedures implemented by an organization. Implemented by that are implemented by an organization to ensure adherence, to applicable to all applicable laws, all right, regulations, 2 regulations, 3 industry specific regulations or standards, and internal policies. So it is a set of proactive measures and procedures. It is a plan. All right, proactive implies it's a plan, something that a company develops. These are procedures that a company develops well in advance, procedures and measures and that are developed well in advance to help the company to ensure that it adheres to all applicable laws, regulations, industry-specific standards, and internal policies. Laws, regulations, industry standards, and policies. So do you understand? That is the meaning of a compliance strategy. And this strategy aims to foster an ethical culture within an organization, and it also helps to prevent misconduct that could lead to legal liabilities or that could lead to reputational damages. So what are the key components of a compliance strategy? key components of a compliance strategy. One is risk assessment. Risk assessment. That means identifying and assessing potential risks that are related to compliance with laws, regulations, and ethical standards specific to the industry and also the organization's operations. Two, policies and procedures. Policies and procedures. It means developing and implementing clear, comprehensive policies, comprehensive procedures that outline the organization's expectations regarding compliance and also regarding ethical conduct. Three, training and communication. Training and communication. That is to say, providing regular training to employees and stakeholders on compliance policies, procedures, and ethical standards, and ensuring effective communication channels to report concerns or suspected violations. 4, monitoring and auditing. Monitoring and auditing. That is to say, establishing a system for ongoing monitoring for compliance activities and conduct, and also carrying out periodic audits to assess the effectiveness of compliance program. 5, enforcement and discipline. Enforcement and discipline is a key component of a compliance strategy. That means enforcing compliance policies in a consistent manner and fairly, taking appropriate disciplinary action for any violations. Number 6, we have whistleblower protection. Whistleblower protection. That is to implement a robust whistleblower protection program that encourages employees to report concerns without any fear of retaliation. Whistleblower protection. 7, continuous improvement is a component of a compliance strategy. That means regularly reviewing and updating the compliance strategy based on the results of monitoring, based on the results of audits, and also changes in legal and regulatory requirements. There has to be that element of continuous improvement because there are always changes in the environment. There are always changes in the legal and regulatory requirements necessitating the need for continuous improvement. So these are 6 key components of a compliance strategy. And candidates, a compliance strategy has various benefits. Let's outline the benefits. What are the benefits of a compliance strategy? One is mitigating risk and financial risks. It helps to mitigate risks. Mitigation of risk, number 1. Mitigation of risks, and this risk could be legal and or financial. Legal and financial risks. Mitigation of legal and financial risk is a benefit of a compliance strategy. Having a strong compliance program helps prevent legal violations and associated penalties, fines, or lawsuits. It can help promote reputation, promotes reputation. A compliance audit promotes reputation. Ethical conduct and adherence regulations enhances the company's reputation among customers, investors, and members of the public. 3, it builds trust. Compliance strategy can help build trust by demonstrating a commitment to compliance and to ethics can foster trust among the shareholders, including employees, customers, partners, and so on. The fourth benefit is in relation to efficiency. It can improve operational efficiency. It improves operational efficiency. And how can a compliance audit improve operational efficiency? That can be done by implementing standard procedures and ethical practices that can lead to more efficient and streamlined operations. 5, attracts. A compliance audit can attract and retains top talent or just talent. It can help attract and retain talent. That is because organizations with strong ethical cultures are more attractive to potential employees and can help retain existing employees. So these are 5 benefits of a compliance strategy. In closing, we need to identify some of the key areas of compliance strategy. Areas for compliance strategy. 1 is constitutional provisions. Now, in a separate lesson, we tackled the subtopic on constitutional provisions in relation to governance and ethics. Constitutional provisions. Organization we know must align their operations with the constitutional principles of governance and ethics, including transparency, including principles like accountability, integrity. You recall we read here the chapter on leadership and integrity from the Kenyan Constitution of 2010. So in compliance strategy, that is one area, constitutional provisions. All right. Then we have the statutory laws. Statutory laws. Statutory laws. When drafting a compliance strategy, it's important to consider statutory laws. These are acts of parliament. Compliance with various laws such as the Companies Act, the Employment Act, the laws around environment. We have environmental laws, We have data privacy and data privacy or data protection act. We have other laws like the employment laws, which are crucial when drafting compliance strategies. That's one area that the expert must pay attention to. Apart from the constitutional provisions, there are also the acts of parliament. Then we have industry specific regulations. Industry specific regulations. Industry specific regulations. Now, depending on the sector, organizations need to comply with specific regulations such as those issued by the Central Bank of Kenya or the Capital Markets Authority or the Securities Exchange or any other industry specific laws. You have banks which have their own industry specific regulations which must be adhered to. So when drafting a compliance strategy, that's an area to pay attention to, industry specific regulations. 4, corporate governance codes. Codes of corporate governance. This is adherence to corporate governance codes like the ones issued by the Capital Markets Authority. We also have international codes of corporate governance and so on. 5, another area is ethical standards. Ethical standards. Organizations should establish strong ethical culture and ensure the actions align with ethical standards and codes of conduct. So these are 5 key areas of compliance strategy. That will mark the end of the lesson, in which we defined compliance strategy as a set of proactive measures and procedures that are implemented by an organization to ensure adherence to all applicable laws, regulations, industry-specific standards, and internal policies. We went further to identify the key components of a compliance strategy, which include the risk assessment, policies and procedures, training and communication, monitoring and auditing, and we also have enforcement and discipline. Number 6, whistleblower protection and continuous improvement. We've explained the benefits of a compliance strategy. We've said that it can help mitigate legal and financial risks. Number 2, it can promote the reputation of an organization. It may help build trust with stakeholders. It can improve operational efficiency. And lastly, it may help an organization to attract and retain top talent. Assignment 1. What are the essential components of a comprehensive compliance strategy? 2. How can organizations effectively identify and assess compliance risks in their operations? 3. What role does training and awareness play in promoting compliance within organizations? 4. How can organizations establish robust monitoring and auditing mechanisms to ensure ongoing compliance? 5. What are the key steps involved in investigating and addressing compliance breaches in a company? Bye.